Hello, my name is Ethan Coalson. I'm here to present my project, The Life and Contributions of Joseph Lister, for my biology lab class at Augusta Technical College. Joseph Lister was born April 5th, 1827, in uptown Essex, England. He was raised in London and Hertfordshire. Lister was raised in a Quaker household and attended Quaker schools for his grade school all throughout his childhood. And you can see a picture of him in his youth right here. Joseph Lister's father's name was Joseph Jackson Lister. Lister's father was a wine merchant and amateur physicist. As an amateur physicist, his work led to the modern aerochromatic microscope, which um, which Joseph Lister's father was actually the person who taught him how to use a microscope, which became somewhat important when Joseph Lister began to develop his antiseptic method. His mother's name was Isabella Lister near Harris. She taught at Quaker school in Yorkshire, England, until having her first child, when she then became a stay-at-home mother. Joseph Lister was the fourth of six children. He was the second oldest son, and his older brother, John Lister, died of complications resulting from a brain tumor, making Joseph the heir of his family, which is very important at the time. His childhood is not very well documented, so beyond what we know here. For his education, or his higher education, he was interested in comparative anatomy, which led him to pursue a surgical career at 16 years old. He attended University College, London, and graduated with honors with a bachelor's degree in medicine in 1852. Image 4 here on this slide is actually a modern picture from that very college, which still exists today, University College London. He did his fellowship with the Royal College of Surgeons and became the house surgeon of University College Hospital. He studied under James Syme, who later became his mentor and father-in-law. For his career, he was appointed the surgeon to the Glasgow Royal Infirmary in 1861, where he was responsible for overseeing the surgical block in the infirmary. And his primary focus was to decrease the mortality rate of surgery. So he wanted to decrease postoperative sepsis or postoperative infection. He succeeded his mentor as the chair of clinical surgery in Edinburgh in 1869. Lister was not known as a remarkable surgeon, largely as a result of his reluctancy to publish statistics, making it difficult for his findings to be accepted for a good while until they became undeniable, or until he actually did publish a series of statistics. Lister became the chair of clinical surgery later at King's College. So, as I said earlier, his reluctancy to publish statistics made it hard for his findings to be accepted by the medical community. But later on, he did publish, first he did, the first time his method was successfully implemented was in August 12th, 1865. And after using his method for a year, or about a year and a half, he published a series of cases in which he studied his antiseptic method, and he used it all throughout the year and a half, and he was able to decrease the mortality rate postoperatively by 30% in his ward, which, when compared to the 45% before versus 15% after, those are two very different numbers, making his findings very significant. He was able to do this research during his time as the surgeon in Glasgow Royal Infirmary, where he did most of his experiments, and he was led to do this because of his interest in wound care to prevent sepsis. So what his antiseptic method was basically to use antiseptics such as carbolic acid, which is what he used, and heating up into a steam and then misting it around the room and on all the surgical equipment, which was which actually used a machine that I have an image of right here, image 7, and just getting on everything that would go in the wound or around the wound, just cleaning the entire room. And the first in the first case that was successful on August 15th, 1865, it actually involved a compound fracture, which at the time the only method to treat it was amputation because the death rate was almost 100% because of how long they had to have the person open. It wasn't worth repairing them. It genuinely was safer just to go ahead to lose the limb. But he used spray and he was able to save that person's life. And both with that and a series of cases following that in the year and a half after, while his method was controversial, it became undeniable because I mean it was saving countless lives. It was well, countless lives. It was saving a lot of lives. Um, Later on, because of the 30% decrease, it did begin to be accepted by the medical community. The largest reason that it wasn't accepted earlier was because germ theory wasn't accepted yet. And Joseph Lister was not noted for believing in germ theory either, but his method was successful, and the principles behind his method are still used today, while we do not use carbolic acid in steam form anymore. Um, that is, the principles behind it are still used today. For his honors and awards, he was a Copley Medal recipient in 1902, which the Copley Medal is one of, if not the oldest scientific prize, having been first awarded in 1731. It's older than the Nobel Prize. Um, he became a baronet in 1883. The word baronet is a title given by the royal family to honor someone for their contributions to English society. This honor, it would actually make him Sir Joseph Lister, and it is very similar to being knighted. Um, yeah, it's very similar to being knighted. He was one of the original members of the Order of Merit, which is a group of distinguished individuals in England that are, I guess, distinguished enough to be recognized by the royal family. And he also won the Albert Medal, which was given by the Royal Society of Arts, which recognized distinguished individuals, those specifically who helped develop um, English society, which of course he did save many lives. And as you can see, many of his awards were very tailored to being English or tied to the royal family in some way, which is very fitting for an English doctor at the time. For his later life and death, Lister was a very religious man. Having grown up a Quaker, he later became a Scottish Episcopalian, and he married his mentor's eldest daughter, named Agnes Syme, and in April of 1856, making him 29 at the time. While they had no kids, their marriage was long and appeared happy. Um, he died on February 10th, 1912, at 84 years old. And my references for my content and images are here. Thank you for your time, for hearing out my presentation, and thank you for Um, at least I hope you learned something about Joseph Lister, about surgery, about how surgery was done almost 100 years ago now, more than 100 years ago. So thank you for your time. And again, my name is Ethan Coalson, and I attend Augusta Technical College. This is my biology lab project. Thank you for your time.